Uninvited guest alert. There's a certain comfort in the mundane, like the rhythmic ticking of a clock or the distant hum of traffic. For me, the sound of footsteps has always been a familiar lullaby, a reminder of shared space and presence. So, when I first heard the footsteps upstairs, I didn't think much of it. They were soft, almost tentative, like a child sneaking around after bedtime. It was only when I remembered I lived alone in this apartment that the comfort turned to ice. The footsteps were not just a figment of my imagination, they were real, and they were moving closer. I sat frozen in my living room, the TV casting a flickering glow that only seemed to deepen the shadows gathering around me. Each creak of the floorboards above was a heartbeat, a countdown to something I couldn't yet comprehend. My mind raced through the possibilities, a break-in, a neighbor's prank, or perhaps something more sinister. It was then I remembered the old tenant, an elderly woman whose stories of her late husband's return had often been dismissed as senility. But she had insisted he watched over her, especially at night. My heart pounded as the footsteps reached the top of the stairs, and I could almost sense a presence, something unseen but palpable. I stood up, my eyes glued to the stairwell, waiting for the source of the noise to reveal itself. As the first step creaked, I remembered the woman's words, "He only comes when you're truly alone." The realization hit me like a cold wave, and I felt an unfamiliar chill settle in the room. The footsteps were not just descending, they were purposeful, as if drawn to the isolation I'd unknowingly invited into my life. The final act of this chilling encounter unfolded as a shadowy figure emerged, not from the stairs, but from my own reflection in the window. It was the silhouette of a man, his features obscured by the night but his intent unmistakable. I understood then that the footsteps were not a prelude to an encounter but an invitation to join the realm of those who linger unseen. In that moment, the boundary between the living and the lost blurred, and I knew I was no longer truly alone. My apartment, once a sanctuary, had become a passageway, a place where echoes of the past found new life in the solitude of the present.